But, if you think of yourself being on a bunch of newsletter lists, like which ones do you read the most? If you just opted in someone's list 2 days ago, you're probably still reading their emails. If it was a year ago and, the overall quality of their emails wasn't consistently great, you might not be opening them anymore, right? So I guess to me, there's no point driving traffic through advertising, affiliates, guest blogging, or anything else, or even spending a lot of time or money on SEO, if when they get to your sales funnel, they're not going to convert. Now, on the other hand, and this is, Mark, why I said I disagree. Let's say you've got a really great converting sales funnel, whether it's just a sales page or opt into something or a video, whatever, doesn't matter. If your thing converts great, affiliates are going to want to promote it, right? You could go to, you have to measure your numbers. You have to be able to show with Google Analytics or whatever, here's how many clicks I got, it converted to this many sales, this much revenue, and had an affiliate sent me this traffic, right? They were to earn this much in commissions. So if you go to affiliates and you say, here's my numbers, right? I'm earning this much per click, therefore with your 40% commission or whatever, you would earn this much per click. Say, really? Okay, well, I'll give that a shot. And if you come through for them and they do earn as much as you said, they're going to be, when can I promote it again? Or if you ask for referrals, do you know anyone else that could I give you a second tier commission and refer other people to me? If they're happy with the money, they'll refer others to you. Same thing with advertising. If you drive traffic and you don't have a converting funnel, you're just going to lose money. You won't want to run more ads. But if it converts, you'll at least break even, right? And then you can afford to run more ads. So to me, until you have not only kind of maybe an entry-level product for anywhere from $29 to $99, but an upsell for something more expensive, so you can maximize your revenue per customer and per click, right? I don't think you should spend a lot of time or money getting traffic. That's my opinion.
Because you're basically saying if you have a proven sales point, you can buy traffic and people will be looking to buy.
Yeah, affiliates, they may not be knocking down your door right away, but if you go to someone that would be the right kind of affiliate and you say, look, here's my numbers, right? Here's a conversion, you were surprised, someone over there was surprised about a 1/3 opting in. But yeah, to that's still possible. Our Fit Forever ebook opt-in page had a 42% opt-in when we launched it 2 years ago. So, you can say 42% of are opting in, of those, whatever, in our last launch, we got the best ever conversion rate of opt-ins to customers. 8.8% of opt-ins bought a $7 product within a few minutes. Okay, and then of those, 13% bought a $159 product, and of those, 30% bought a $318 upsell. Okay, so, but I have those numbers. So if I go to an affiliate, I'll say, here's the numbers. Here's how much money was made from the number of clicks, right? Divide the revenue by the clicks, and I can tell you how much revenue per click from affiliates. It's different. Going to be different from ads, because ads are an affiliate saying, I recommend this, right? So you're going to get a lot better numbers from an affiliate than just an ad. But okay, so that's what I want to say about conversion. Questions?
Well, you are bringing up the most brutal recent pain point I have.
Okay.
I'm advertising my my mastermind, which starts in March, and so I put out my early bird campaign. I've got 1,600 people on my mailing list, 300 opened, very perfectly respectable. I got, I think, 60 clicks, maybe it's up to 70 clicks today. Yeah.
And?
No conversions.
Oh.
It's just pure error. And that, when I did this last year, I had 12 people sign up and they loved it. But they only came through a phone call or through a free intro. And
what's the price point?
$750 for the early bird.
Okay, so that might be part of it. In my experience, I haven't sold anything more than $497 as a front-end product. So I just wonder, if you went up to $2,000, for sure that would be a lot harder to sell without a phone call. $797, it's somewhere in the middle.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Is
So
it
that just might be the break point. So what you're saying is it just might be dollars to the people on my list.
I mean, I think you could do it. Jeff Walker sells a $2,000 program on the web with
Through
a video
Flex.
sales letter,
Right.
without talking to anybody.
Okay, but through a video sales letter. I mean,
Right.
this actually gives me a sense of hope because I put a lot of hours into the conversion text,
Okay.
and
But this video sales letter is really just a sales letter where you get to see one sentence at a time, right? And he's saying what the words say. I mean, so that's what mine is too, right? But but it's been shown that it converts better because people can't skim through it and go to the end, and like if every sentence makes them say, well, like makes them want it more, they're like, well, I want to keep watching it, and plus they're hearing it and seeing it, and it's supposedly that puts them in kind of a trance because it's like two methods of receiving the same message. So
Are you talking about like similar to the ones where it's like the guy's just drawing pictures while you're hearing the text and blah blah blah?
well, no, what I'm talking about is even more basic than that. There's no animation.
I
It's
never
just-
make it through those.
it's a
things because
PowerPoint.
It's just too. To me, it's like it's too long, and if you aren't getting to what it is that you're really offering
Right,
after the first 2 minutes,
right. But that's you. That's the majority of it.
Really?
Converts better with the majority of people
really.
if the copy is good. If the copy is good.
The copy can be good, but to me, it's like I don't know if this is similar to what you were saying about having to scroll through 10 pages of stuff, but it's like
Right.
the longer your sales pitch, the less I trust you.
Oh, okay.
That's how I am, because it just feels to me like you're trying to convince me so much, as opposed to just tell me what it is that you're looking to do.
Right.
It's like you guys, it's like you hit the pain point right out of the gate. Now you're telling me this whole long story, and I've sat through most of that whole long story before, but I'm like, you know what?
Right.
Tell me what it is you're trying to get me to, and then let me decide.
Well, here's
the
a
price.
Yeah.
They always hide the price.
Here's a really good
all the
point.
way to the very, very end, and it's like in my attitude.
But see, that's exactly what works. That's
Well,
the only reason we read.
But the
we
answer
wanna
is
think-
that
But
with
does
me
it
it
need to
didn't.
be that long?
It depends if you're looking to buy or not.
Well, okay, the length of a sales letter video is in direct proportion to the price you're asking. If it's $29, no, it doesn't need to be that long. If it's $7.97, yes, it does. You can't sell a $797 thing in a 5-minute video. You just don't have enough time to answer all the objections. Talk about all the pain points, right? Talk about your rags to riches story. It's like, no, you can't do that in 5 minutes. It might take 20 minutes to do enough, to generate enough emotions, answer enough objections, right? Show why you're the only solution to really solve the problem versus any other alternative, right? I mean, there's a lot of ground to cover. Now, you don't have to do a video. You can just do a sales page, and people can just skim it, and maybe they'll buy, and they do. I mean, we've sold $500,000 of our program with a sales letter. I mean, over 5 years.
Can you do both? Just have the video top and then a bunch
Yeah,
of copy
you can do that
below
too.
and let the
Yeah.
user. Because I always love skipping the video. No, read through. Oh, there it is. That's the information I'm looking for.
Yeah, you
Last
can do
paragraph.
both. Yeah, right. So then they can pause the video, or you could have it not autoplay, and they can play it if they want.
The thing I found interesting is I understand, and I have a new appreciation for the way you're putting it, because as far as like building up this emotional thing. But at the same time, and then you were saying, well, yeah, if you're gonna get there in order, this is generally how it works, and I'm curious as to how much has been measured as far as like what percentage do I
Infinity.
show up, as far as like showing up and saying, you know what, once I got past like the first 2 pages of this thing, I turned it off. Because we were already taking too long to even let me know where it's going.
Right. What I would say is I don't think this conversation is worth using up our time.
Yeah, good point.
Because, I mean, the argument over a sales letter or a sales video is not really the main issue here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's knowing how to, because you can use either one. So it doesn't matter, whether we like one or the other better. Do whatever you want. They both work. Let's see. Okay, now, one or two of you said that you chose someone over someone else because of referrals or recommendations, like from people that you trusted. Let's talk about that. Who here already has clients that have paid them for the service that they said they want to sell? You do.
Well,
You have 12. Who already has clients that have paid you for the service that you told me you want to sell?
Oh gosh.
Okay. Okay. So you don't yet.
no, just
Okay.
putting this thing together.
All right. So I'll speak to John and Sean for a second. So there's an idea of an endorsed offer, and what it means is you say to one of your clients or all of your clients who were happy, would you be willing to send an email to your friends, letting them know about how, you know, working with me improved or transformed your life, right? And letting them know, and here's one of the things that makes it work. Letting them know that, actually, this is how I phrased it when I started my copywriting business. So what you, John or Sean, can do. Actually, let me just phrase it the way the friend would say it. So let's say I'm the client, right? I paid you and I'm happy to recommend you. So what I would say to all my email friends or Facebook friends is, you know, the idea here was that it was for your business acquaintances. So that's all the language I'll use. You know, Sean, I really value that, you know, you're a client of mine, and I wanted to do something to thank you, like just something extra. And so, you know, I've arranged for you to get a free 30-minute consult with a coach that's really helped me grow my business. His name's John Van Dinther. And here's how he's helped me build my business. You know, when I had to make a tough decision between two paths, right, whether I should do, you know, go down this route or that route, you know, he sat down with me for an hour and I got crystal clear that which was the right one, and it turned out to be a very successful business for me. So, you know, if you ever, you know, feel undecided about something in your business, or, you know, think that there's room for growth, you know, I already paid him for the 30 minutes. It's my gift to you, right? So it's no obligation. Here's his, you know, his number, email, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so just all you have to do is contact him. You know, so you know, this is me giving John an endorsed offer to my subscribers, right? And I can say, you know, to thank you for your business or whatever. You know, I've arranged. You don't have to say I paid him. You can say, you know, I've arranged for you to get a complimentary 30-minute consult with my coach, or with my fitness trainer,
Sure.
or with my whatever. And so you can ask your happy clients to do that for you. So that's, you know, that's kind of like having an affiliate that you don't have to pay a commission. Or you could offer a commission, you know, or you could offer them free services. Like, you know, some people aren't comfortable receiving money for it because they feel like a little dirty. Like, oh, I'm like getting paid to recommend you. Like, I don't want wouldn't want my friends to know that I was like getting paid for this, you know.
Yeah.
But if you say, look, you know,
I do this with my clients, and it's an easy sell to some of them, and it's a really hard sell to others.
okay, so then someone.
It's hard to figure out like who's responsive to it, which I have not figured that out at all. But I still ask every single client, like, hey, every time they pay me, actually, I say your money's great, referrals are better.
Okay.
So that's.
Do you offer them the next session free if they send me
Yeah,
two
do a free
referrals?
session if they send me a referral. Yeah.
Okay. That's like my cleaning lady. She says if I send her a new client, she'll give me a free cleaning.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, she's not giving me cash,
Do it, yeah,
right?
for sure.
There's a thing like that works for me that might be useful for you is what I care. I mean, I have the high touch business where like people are like around two hats a lot who are my clients, and and there's a sense of like family, friendship, and an open door. And so what I do is I say, hey, you know, I love having you as a client. I love having you as a part of this community, and I give them, you know, and I'll give them time, and I just let them know that time is available for them. And I let them know that there's an abundance of resources available if they'll take it. And then when I ask them, hey, could I get a referral from you? It'd be so great. They're like, oh yeah. And they convert. Whereas if I just offer people time, that's fine, but it's almost like the constriction of just the offer doesn't feel as whole. And maybe it's my style or my world, but actually I get more referrals when people are sensing that this is family.
Right.
But I've created a lot of environment to make that possible, but it gets more referrals.
When you're saying abundance of resources, what does that mean?
Oh, like a free co-working space. I know lawyers, I know web designers, I know graphic designers. I'm around a happy, helpful group of people. There's yoga going on in the back. This is a place for
But so
people
they
to
can,
feel
somehow if they're a client, they can take advantage of all this?
yeah, stuff's available.
Okay.
Ask, and it's haphazard, but that feels like abundance and family and possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And that just gives people a sense of duty to support and a joy to support. It's different than just saying, I can give you a free hour. Because it's like, oh yeah, that's there. You need anything, you give me a call. We'll figure something out.
Okay.
I like it. I don't know how to use it, but I like it.
So if anyone came tonight with specific burning questions, maybe Brian.
Introduce your clients
Rouse.
to each other.
Yep.
Oh, this is this is something I'm
Workout.
trying to kick off. Is a group
Oh.
training on Sunday mornings.
Mhm.
All my
Mhm.
clients
Just like that.
can come for like $15.
Yeah. We have two hats.
Do we feel more like family?
Yeah,
Right. That's cool.
and they get 50-year-olds get to train with 7-year-olds, so that's fun too.
Or get the really good rock climber to train the kayaker to train the yoga teacher.
Yeah, more involved in it.
Oh, you have them train each other on that?
No,
side?
No, I
train everybody.
Just jump it off.
But no, it's the exposure, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And you're the guy who brought us together and was forming this community, and you're doing it for $15.
Of course, I mean, for something like that, where it's in person, you can do, 2 for 1. Like, bring a friend for free.
Yeah.
Friend, as long as they haven't yet, paid. Like, if they're new, if they're new to me, right?
Uh-huh.
Not someone who came free before and didn't become a customer.
Yeah, that's great. Great.
All right.
I have a huge question that I don't want to, that might apply to you guys and it might be useful. And it's this big place where we've been working on an information product for a year. It's like 5 modules. I've been working with this guy from Marin, and I've got really high-end designers. I've got really high-end video producers, people that are doing videos for Facebook, and they're all a part of this Two Hats community. And the thing I'm concerned about is when I see most information products, they're haphazardly thought through. The delivery, the marketing is usually pretty slick, and I get that, and I want to put effort into that, but I'm really concerned that my desire to create such a robust product that has such high production value and has so much. I mean, there's between me and the guy that I'm doing this with, we got 50 years of business consulting experience together, and my general sense when I talk to experts in this field is that I am throwing money down the drain, and I need to get my eye on the marketing and really stop putting all of the energy in.
Being a perfectionist about the product.
Well, or even just put. I mean, it's not actually. No, I wouldn't call us perfectionists. I would just say that we're doing a lot of robust work for a really good product. It's not that we're perfectionists. We're just setting out to make a big thing.
Okay.
And yeah, no, I wouldn't say that we're making perfection the enemy of the good, but
Okay.
I'm really concerned that there isn't a lot of evidence for robust production and deep knowledge in the product itself. It mostly seems to go into the marketing, and I'm just concerned about
So, yeah, I don't want to get in the way because we are here to hear what you have to say on this. But the thing that strikes me is, if I'm hearing you correctly, your concern is that you're not doing enough marketing because you're too busy making a really valuable product that will truly serve people.
that is my concern.
Okay, so here's my response to that, and I again am the same guy who said I don't like this other system that people are doing that they find very successful. Keep doing that, because the rest of the market, I feel, is this is me, evidently it works. I wait for it to collapse on itself, because it's you know what? I'm tired of books, or the idea of books that are 140 pages and there's 3 ideas in it. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want, if there's 3 ideas, then charge me the same amount and give me the 3 ideas and don't waste my time. But if you've got 5 modules that will truly walk me through stuff, that's why you have freaking people who then go and who become trainers to do that. So not only do you have the material, but you would then, it's if the word gets out that you're really bringing something that's that good, again, kind of like the conversion rate, the traffic will find you, will come to you. If you're hey dude, this is the shit. Worst case scenario is some other guy is secretly using your shit and not crediting you and charging you, but
Well,
still bought it.
Yeah,
I'm not worried.
we don't need to go there, that's not the topic for today.
But you understand where I'm going. The answer is do your thing.
I do, and I'm concerned because it needs to work.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
So, from time to time, there's topics that become the trend, right, and are very popular. Like 900 numbers were once very popular, right? Or Kindle publishing. A year or two ago was like a really popular thing that suddenly I was getting all these offers, how to make money selling Kindle books. Is your topic something that's sort of time sensitive in the fact that, if you, in another year or two it may not be as popular? Okay. Okay.
The guy's 70. I'm 45. I've been doing this stuff for
No,
years.
but the topic itself.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's online marketing, and there's overturn in various online marketing stuff, and there's overturn in how to make a good website. But even that, really, it's basically how to get the word out and the deeper principles of that.
Okay. So I'm not sure I was confused as to what your question for me was. You kind of explained your frustration, but I don't know what the exact question is.
I guess it's how do I know where to stop in the production? How do I know where to distribute limited resources, time and money?
Okay. Well, I guess the best way I can answer is to tell you how I started our program. Okay. So, when I started it in 2009, continuity programs were pretty popular. Like join our membership program for whatever, 20, 25 bucks a month, and just pay us forever, right? And for various reasons, I'd read and listened to different things. I was like, you know what? Everyone's saying that people quit after 3 to 6 months. Quit a membership program. So there's no point like having to produce content every month for the rest of my life, write new stuff if people are going to quit after 3 to 6 months. One guy had explained this concept of what's now called a micro-continuity program, which means, they pay a monthly fee for a year, or they pay a monthly fee for 6 months, maybe 3 months, right? So it's like, that's basically what it is, and they got content for that period of time. So I decided, all right, I'm going to do a 1-year program because, I don't want to commit myself to coming up with new content forever, right? People quit after 3 to 6 months anyway, everyone says. So what's the point, right? I'll make a 1-year program, and I'll tell people if they want to prepay, they could get a discount. But the idea was you're going to get 1 lesson a week for 50 weeks. So guess how many lessons I had written when I launched it and got 380 customers?
10.
One. That's all I needed, right? Because I still would have a week to get lesson 2 together once I launched it. And I wasn't sure that it would be successful. What if I launched it and only 5 people signed up? Do I really want to, it's like I wanted to have the option to bail out, right, if it was a failure, marketing-wise, if it was a marketing failure. It was only a theory to me that, in yours it's more than a theory. Like, would vegetarians really pay 20 bucks a month when they could buy a book? It's like I don't know. I don't know if this will really work. In your case, yeah, there's definitely a market for the information that you're teaching, right? There's definitely people that will pay money for it, if proven they will. But the point of it was that so number 1, I only had lesson 1 written. We did the launch, I'm like, all right, I gotta hurry up and write lesson 2, which was about pH balance, something I'd already read about. I could have picked any topic for lesson 2. Maybe that wasn't true, because I think when I sold it, I told people what the first 25 lesson titles would be.
Because you'd written 25 lesson titles.
No, but I also said order subject to change, right? So like whatever, so I could do any of them next, whatever was easiest for me. So I was like, all right, well I know the pH balance concept well, so I'm just going to write a lesson on that. That'll be lesson 2. So I wrote that, in the next week, and then the next week I did some research about calcium. I wrote the calcium lesson, and I interviewed different experts, which I was doing every week. But that's easy because I didn't have to it's just a 1-hour call, and the people that paid the most would get to be on the call live and ask questions, and the people that didn't pay the most would just get the recording. So basically, for an entire year, every week I had a deadline. By Thursday, I had to have the new lesson uploaded to our site. It made me do it, right? But I didn't have to do it all before I marketed it. And I had 50 weeks to do it all. So, also, it probably would have been a better program if I'd done a video, like we're teaching you recipes. Wouldn't it be great to have a video of someone showing you how to chop that and open that squash and, how to saute the thing? It's too expensive. I didn't have the budget for that. So I'm like, it's just going to be written content and a Q&A call, because that's all I can really afford to make, right? It wasn't really that fancy. It wasn't, the way I look at it is, if I'm solving a burning problem that people will pay to solve, it doesn't really matter if it's, beautiful and, has video and this and that, because if I can solve it with a less expensive method, which was basically blog posts inside a membership protected WordPress site. I didn't even have to do the Q&A calls, but I thought it'd be relatively easy, right? And some people like to listen instead of read, or in addition to reading. So I was like, Q&A calls will be a hell of a lot easier than video. I won't have to hire a videographer, or worry about lighting, or blah, 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 or editing. I didn't want to have to do editing. So I just chose a simple delivery method that I could do easily. And so that was what I did. I don't think what you're doing is wrong, but if you're saying you're never going to get around to marketing, or like if you're unable to finish the project because you don't have the money coming in, or something like that.
No, right. No, that's not it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm hearing you.
How you're going to give out module 1, and then how long would it pass before they get module 2? A week, a month?
I don't know yet.
Okay, make it longer. So what if it was every month?
Sure.
Could you launch it now, and then, if you had module 1 ready, could you launch it and then within a month have module 2 ready?
Possibly. Yes.
Okay. And if you had another month then after that to get module 3 ready, could you do that?
And the key of what I'm hearing you say, which is exactly what I tell my clients, is get it out there now and then just build as you go, because what's the most important thing is to review and assess the results and iterate on that. There's a lot of things that I'll be able to build better if I'm under the pressure of delivering it, and if I've seen what I've put out.
And you've seen the feedback that you got from your students, right?
The second version of anything is better because I've gotten feedback.
Right. Yeah, if once you get feedback on module 1, you'll be asked questions you didn't know that people would want to know about.
Right.
And same thing goes for you, Brian, like with the teleseminar series. If you're doing a 5 or 6 week teleseminar series, you may not want to, take the time to perfectly script what you're going to say on all 6 calls. Like, maybe you have an outline for 2 through 6. But keep it open. Maybe you discover on Teleseminar 1, people asking questions about something you didn't realize was important to them. And now you want to modify the stuff that comes after based on that. I'm trying to think if I did that. I didn't quite do that, but people did say over and over, like, I wish you had menu plans. So what we did is, for one of the lessons, I did something like, maybe it was called menu plans, I'm not sure. I just asked several healthy chefs to log what they ate for one day and give me their log, and then I put like 8 logs, and that was a lesson. Right? Like, here's what healthy chefs eat in a typical day. But then I realized, like, if we did a real menu plan program, like a 3-month program, we could sell it because people are asking for it. I wouldn't have thought of that. It never occurred to me until people asked for it. So, so you may not know what people want until you start engaging with them. There's a book called Ready, Fire, Aim. You know it. So it's this, pretty much the concept that you just described about build it as you go. And what it says is, basically, as soon as you have your beta versions, start selling it. You could even tell people, hey, this is a beta version. This is ultimately, I'm planning on selling this training for $5,000. Whether you really expect that you ever will, maybe you will, who knows? You can't rule it out. But, since this is a beta version, and I want to get testimonials so I can sell it at full price, I'm offering it for $7.97 right now. You know, it may not tell them what might be wrong with it. You know, like in my case, I'll say, you know, there's no video at this point, right? You know, the Q&A calls won't be edited, right? They're just going to be live, off the cuff with the expert, and so that's why it's a beta program. That's why we're getting this really great price. So, you know, if that works for you, and if you send me a testimonial if you're happy with it, then, you know, you're welcome to sign up.
The thing that's most interesting for me is how well it worked when I told people, I want us to build a mastermind group together, please come to my free introduction so I can get your feedback.
Uh-huh.
They came and they were like, this is what we want, this is what we want, this is what we want. I was like, great. And when I said, here, this is what I'm building, those people that asked for that all came.
Right.
And I filled my mastermind group.
Good.
Yeah, and that's exactly what did it.
So does that help?
Yeah. You're helping me remember things that I know.
Okay.
Yeah, the more
Same
we've been
here,
talking
yeah.
about this, the more I'm kind of like, how is this thing not filled?
I mean, if you're not sure it's worth money yet, or you're afraid that it might not be good enough, then maybe give it for free, you know?
Right.
And, you know, ask people to promise a testimonial if they get value from it. Or they don't have to promise a testimonial, ask them to promise feedback, good and bad, you know, if based on their experience. And then use that to give yourself more confidence and revise it so that you'll know that it's satisfying what people want. Right? So, I mean, in my opinion, if you're solving a problem, it doesn't matter as much whether it's video, teleseminars, right, blogs, PDF, it doesn't really matter.
How
If you
does it
solve the
matter
problem.
if the problem is solved?
What's that?
Just how does it so much matter if the problem is solved?
Yeah. Yeah, and so this brings us to a point in copywriting or any sales offer. So Brian, give me like in 2 sentences, tell me what you envision for your teleseminar series.
At this point, it's more like a follow-up program to an in-person workshop. It'd be like a 6-month to year-long program to like look at all areas of their life that impact their sexual and relationships.
Okay.
And it'd be like accountability groups and support structures to help them focus on working on different parts of themselves around like relationships and sexuality, and along with that would be like reading certain books that I would highly recommend, and then maybe some practices, like experimenting with like rewiring their own sexual pleasure with themselves. So like no porn, self-pleasuring practices, stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's kind of like
Okay, that's what I needed to hear
Okay.
to make a point. So, okay, I'm gonna make a little diagram. Where the whiteboard is the markers are here, right? All right, so here's let's say, okay, so here's me with my problem, right? Okay, so in your case, Brian,
I
right,
think
let's
that's
say,
keeping it there.
what's that?
I think that might.
No,
be
it's
there.
holding it.
Yeah.
Well, unless you think yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's a load
I know you were like, it's a load bearing, it's a load bearing box. I know you were like pulling it out there to be helpful. I was
So,
like,
So maybe you want point the camera there.
yeah.
Are
and
people in the way or is it okay?
No, just John, stay where you are. Don't move forward.
Alright. So in your case, I'm going to take something you told me earlier. So my problem, alright, is... Okay, I'm lonely, depressed, and frustrated. Yeah, okay, maybe, so for the camera, if you can't read my writing, the problem is I'm lonely, depressed, and frustrated. Okay. Now, over here is what we'd call Pleasure Island, right? Has anyone heard of this concept before?
Yep.
Have you done?
I think I might have seen a variation
Okay.
of it. Keep going.
So Pleasure Island is where I want to go, right? Pleasure Island is where, there's multiple women that want to go out with me or sleep with me or whatever, and right, I'm satisfying them all, and they're raving about me to their girlfriends, right? And I feel like a stud. That's Pleasure Island. And this boat, let's say, is the vehicle that's going to take me across the waters to Pleasure Island. So when you say, okay, here's what you're going to get: 6-month program, an accountability group, support programs, and books. You're telling them all about the boat. That's a great boat. Okay? But what they really want to hear about is Pleasure Island. Right? Now, the boat is important, but you don't want to only talk about that or talk about that 90% and kind of only touch on Pleasure Island.
Yeah, what they're going to get out of it.
This is, yeah. So here, let's take some other examples. In Sean's case, give me the boat, Sean, for you. Like, what's the vehicle that gets him to the destination?
Okay, so the vehicle would be, let's just use Climb with Power. Like 7-part video series to master your front lever, your muscle up, your flexibility. That would be the boat.
Okay, right. And Pleasure Island is, what does it look like when they've achieved the transformation?
You're the rock climber that all your friends envy.
Right, and what else?
You move like a ninja.
Okay.
I like that one.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So Mark,
So, just like, so you like the throwing stars?
what's your boat? What's your
So,
vehicle?
so I'll give you to you because this one I don't have so defined. The vehicle actually, because a lot of the stuff that I've envisioned is more like in person actually. The vehicle would be actually in-person lessons to experience your own body. So you're going to find the places where you're locked up. You're going to dive into the places where you are self-conscious, and you're going to look at these things so that you can break that apart.
But
And so
how
it's going to be
am I
done
going to
as
do that? Like,
a series. So basically, I haven't actually defined it because I don't know how long it would take.
Okay.
I would say, let's say it's weekly. So weekly 3-month series in which we're going to get together, and with each week we'll work on different things, giving you more and more permission. And also with each time that we get together, there will be an actual component where there'll be free dance, and you'll get a chance to be seen and also be safe in the space so that you can do your thing. And Pleasure Island, in this case, ultimately is complete freedom to express however you are authentically and experience joy and connection without hesitation.
paint it as a picture, because those are a lot of
Okay,
broad
so
adjectives. But show
Pleasure
it to
Island?
me with word
Okay.
picture. Because you're a
I
storyteller.
want you to see that you are, okay, so Trevor, you are standing in the middle of the dance floor, and there's a glow about you. People cannot help but see you and feel your presence, and they're drawn to you. They want to be in connection with whatever it is that's coming from inside you. And that's how you're showing up, and always will be.
Pretty good.
Damn.
Good future projection. Let's call it future projection.
Okay.
For those that don't
You
know.
want that group, don't you?
So, yeah, actually, that's a great point. I mean, in our video sales letter, I have a future projection like, imagine yourself, waking, jumping out of bed in the morning, brimming with energy, inspiring your friends and relatives to stop eating meat, saving the planet, and saving the environment from deforestation. I have more to it than that, but you get the idea. It's like, imagine not only the obvious benefit that you don't get sick, right? But imagine like that you're radiant with vitality. You turn heads as you walk in the room, right? And for me in my market, it's inspiring others to also switch to a cruelty-free lifestyle. Is a big one as well, because they want to influence others.
I just have this image, just like a visualization of you, like you are that beaming person, you are that healthy person, and you're walking through an environment that is green, verdant, healthy. The environment is healthy because of your lifestyle. Because your lifestyle does not demand but actually enhances and supports the very environment that you live in. So yeah, you basically imagine a green, healthy field.
Oh yeah.
Because as opposed to a place of like stinking pigs and methane.
Right.
Right, that image draws me so much more than like save the world from deforestation.
Oh,
And I'm
farts.
just like, I know it's a horrible, horrible thing that's happening, isn't it?
And you're like, but bacon is so tasty, right?
Internal conflict right
But
there.
if I say miles of pig farts, you're driving through cow territory, and that's where you live, because we don't.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see.
That's what I'm talking. That's when I talk about the environment, I'm saying, it's like go drive through like areas where it's like huge agricultural, like almost wasteland, where it's like as soon as you hit it, you smell it.
King City to Grapevine.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just like, now imagine that the healthiest environment is just you, as you eat, you are spreading that everywhere you go.
And that's why you're a vegan. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Lean cheese bacon burger.
Oh, the hypocrisy.
All right. Let's see. So, what other questions do you guys have? One thing I didn't really, I guess, cover. I asked about it. Didn't really address it. Is how are you going to prove? Oh, you want to point the camera back towards me?
Oh yeah, thanks.
How do you prove that you're
your head is still in
the solution instead of other solutions? So,
Okay.
let me think for a minute on what I want to say on that.
That'd be a great question.
How do you prove what?
That you're the authority.
The solution.
Well, yeah, right. You're the best. What you're offering is the best solution versus other potential solutions. So let me think for a second. I think one way is to be very specific about the problem that you're going to solve. So, for example, let's say I'm going to use these examples because I used to have clients that were real estate investing gurus. Right. So one guy says, I'm going to teach you how to make a lot of money from real estate. That's basically his pitch. Another guy says, I'm going to teach you how to buy fixer-uppers with none of your own money, using hard money for the down payment, and get $2 back on sale price for every dollar you spend on renovations, and sell it within 60 days. Okay, and another guy says, and let's say this is also okay. So I won't put it in context. Another guy says, I'm going to teach you, assuming you have good credit and money, to buy apartment buildings that have, let's say, a 11% return on investment every year. So if you spend $100,000 on a down payment, you're going to make back $11,000 a year in profit. Okay. So which one are you more drawn to? There's three, right? There's the generic, I'm going to show you how to make money in real estate. There's the no money of your own, doing fixer-uppers, make $2 back for every one. Or there's, if you have money and credit, I'll show you how to buy apartment buildings and make 11% return. All right, so who thinks of all those three you'd go for the first guy? Okay, the second guy. Okay, 4, and the third guy, apartment buildings. Okay,
Good.
cool.
Somewhere
Now-
between 2 and 3.
Yeah, now here's the deal. The third guy could be right for someone that doesn't want the work of rehabbing. I don't really. If you have money to invest and you're looking for a place to invest and get a better return than CDs, right? Then and you're not interested in rehabbing and you don't need someone else's money for a down payment, then the third guy could be the right one for you. But the point is that he's going to attract the kind of prospects for whom he's a good fit. Right? And the second guy is going to attract prospects for whom he's a good fit. And the guy that just had a generic offer may not get anybody.
So it's just niche marketing there, is that basically?
Yeah, it's like being specific about, and I think that's number one. So,
Yeah, Bill Barron told me that a while back. He said the more he's defined his niche, the more money he makes. The more he says, the more specific in his business. He says, when I said I was a coach, I made X dollars.
Right.
When I said I was a business coach, I made a lot more. When I said I was this kind of business coach, and onward and onward.
Right, for
Yeah.
spiritual entrepreneurs or something like that, right? Spirit, heart-centered entrepreneurs, that's what they say. Right, so I think that's one way that so now there's fewer competitors for your niche, right? Another is, obviously any real world proof that you've achieved the results that you're describing for yourself or others, at least for yourself, right? So, I mean, if a guy says, I've made $12.3 million in real estate, now I want to teach you how to follow my footsteps, that's more credible than a guy that can't say that, right? If, like Brian, you can talk about how, you've had 2 women as lovers in your life for, years and years, whatever it might be, or I don't know exactly the details.
Or
But,
video of me getting on.
Yeah, right. You can talk about and here's the thing. Here's what makes it more credible. Show why it was you weren't the most likely to even have this outcome.
Oh, my scrawny ass body.
Yeah, like I weigh 120 pounds. Like I'm super skinny. I'm not that tall, right? Whatever. I mean, me and you are the same in that department. And and so you might have thought I was the last guy who'd have a lot of women in my life, but yet, despite these apparent shortcomings, like I've had, tell them about, all your the sort of
Don't mention the horse cock.
yeah. I mean, tell whatever, right? Whatever would show them that you have the kind of love life that they would aspire to have.
Yeah, make women squirt, blah blah blah.
Right. So now, if I'm skinny and not that tall like you, I'm probably more likely to buy from you than a guy that's 6 foot tall and muscular and promises the same thing,
Yeah.
right? Because I believe that you could help me more than that guy could,
Yeah.
and that's why you want to tell your rags to riches story. Because if when you hit bottom, the person feels like, oh, they understand what it was like for me. They were in the same situation as me, and they got out of it and solved it. I trust them to help me solve it for me.
Yeah, my Kevin O'Malley story. I identified with Kevin O'Malley.
Right. So how can you use that when you're selling your services to others? Like,
Well,
what-
I talk about my own struggles. I talk about how I have a thing that I want to deliver to the world that's about the thing, and that it was hard to get that out there, and people identify with that. That we have a thing that we want to put out there. This isn't just money, and I'm going to teach you how to make money. And I used to not be able to make money, and now I know how to make money, and that just hooks.
and what's do you give as proof, like the mastermind that you did for the first time and got 12 people, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's part of the setup for all that.
Okay. So it's the credibility of you've done it yourself. I wonder if you could get more of a niche though than just saying, I help entrepreneurs, I provide tools for entrepreneurs to be successful. It's such a huge thing. There's so many different kinds of entrepreneurs. Are there, of the clients that you've helped so far that have had the most success, what kind of businesses are they in?
The ones that are the best, most successful conversions are people in the high-end building trades.
Okay, what does that mean?
That means like
Realtors?
custom design painters, interior designers, and architects. We've got a great plumbing client.
And so is there a catch-all phrase to describe, painters, interior designers, and architects? You'd use one when you said it. I just didn't know what it meant. High-end, what'd you say?
Builders.
High-end designers and like
High-end
high-end
You said like high-end building professionals?
building trades or tradesmen. Yeah,
High-end building tradesmen?
yeah, and residential trades.
Specifically residential?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And tradesmen excludes women. Is there a way to...
No, trade. Yeah, like
tradespeople?
trades. Yeah, it'd be trades.
Okay.
I could play with that wording.
Tradespeople a word?
No.
No, no one can see that.
Tradesperson? No?
But like no, if in the building
Room
trades,
for
like
politically
boutique,
correct.
high-end residential building trades,
Okay.
they'll know what you mean.
Okay, fine. So, what I would say is when you market, you don't have to change your product probably.
Right.
But you could have two different sales funnels that work side by side, right? I mean, we do this, you know, if a raw fooder is very different than a vegetarian,
Right.
okay? So if we just had one sales letter for everybody, someone who's like mostly vegetarian and, you know, like reluctant to give up fish or chicken, and someone who's a raw fooder, right? Or someone who's a vegan and thinks eggs and dairy are evil, right? These are really different markets from each other. So we have 4 different sales pages for the same program. Okay, and they're each geared to each market, to each different person, and
But
some,
you're signing them up for the same program.
yeah. But in the program, there's like out of the 50 lessons, there's 2 lessons that have a vegan version and a vegetarian version. So if they're if they're vegan, they can read the vegan versions, right? Like vegan baking and vegan comfort foods, I think. And then the vegetarians have one on the truth about eggs and one on raw dairy. Okay, so. And with raw fooders, I mean, we don't do anything different in the program. They still get the same vegan program, but we just say, if you want to thrive on a vegan or high raw diet, and then we take out any reference to beans, right, or any reference to cooked whole grains that might have been in the thing, because then they'll be like, oh, well, that's not raw, We'll talk more about, like where one of the bullet points in the vegan one was like, and one of the, you'll probably resonate with all these frustrations, and one of the frustrations is, vegan cheeses and cream cheeses and ice creams are all so expensive,